Hong Kong, a city of 7 million and one of the most dynamic financial centers of the world, characterized by low taxation and free trade. This once sleepy village on the South China Sea is now home to some of the world's major businesses. An entrepreneur's dream, Hong Kong is soon becoming a hub for startup enterprises. Many of the city's new businesses are given birth to by organizations like Startup HK. David McClure, a successful Silicon Valley entrepreneur, said that the best way to create a community of entrepreneurs in a city was to get them together in a coffee shop to talk. Inspired by him, the founders of Startups HK did exactly that. They got together at Starbucks, Habitu, and other coffee shops just to brainstorm ideas and share dreams. This gave birth to Startup Saturday, a day-long event attended by local entrepreneurs who pitch their unique and interesting business ideas to venture capitalists. A few years ago, John Buford founded Boot HK, a co-work space for startups in Hong Kong.
Well, Hong Kong being Hong Kong, we have a lot of people that will be here for some amount of time and then they'll go to a completely different country. They may continue on whatever they're working on, but Hong Kong is kind of a transient place on its own. Or people kind of graduate, and find a bigger space.
Startups don't need office space as much as they need Wi-Fi, printers, and a few desks here and there. But most important, they need a community of other entrepreneurs like themselves. Folk they can talk to about starting a business in Hong Kong or using it as a launch pad for the rest of Asia.
I think one big problem in the States, especially, is it tends to be very U.S. focused. Everybody says, you know what? Oh, we've got 300 million people here. That's fine. I would rather deal with 2 billion people or more, which that's what we have. Just within about a few hours flight from here. So, which market do you want?
And consider whether Hong Kong is the right place from which to tap the vast market of mainland China.
A lot of people that are outside of this region don't understand that China is its own market. It's got its own market needs, very specific tastes and motivations, things like that. Hong Kong is not in China in that sense, and it's really more, Hong Kong is more part of Asia as a whole rather than being part of China in that sense. And so if you try to come here and you're really targeting for China, you're wasting your time.
The wealthy Hong Kong people look at short-term benefit that does not encourage startup business. But Professor Po Chi Wu thinks this situation is beginning to change.
There are some common themes that people talk about in Hong Kong. One that is a bit discouraging is that there's a common culture in Hong Kong, particularly among people who have money, that their children and young people should focus on relatively short-term, low-risk kinds of activities that will make money fairly quickly. And really the focus is on making money and not on what a more traditional venture capitalist would call building long-term value. This is beginning to change in Hong Kong. I think particularly in recent years, say the last 5 to 10 years, of course Hong Kong has always been an attractive place for foreigners. But it's always been sort of a transitory place. People would come and stay for a few years. It's kind of like you come here to discover yourself, and then you move on to something else or somewhere else. But now we have a new group of, call it immigrants, who are foreigners, sometimes non-Chinese, sometimes overseas Chinese, of course more overseas Chinese, who are seeing an opportunity in Hong Kong to approach the China market. And this is a very exciting new development. And they are bringing, of course, different mentality, different skills, technology, and mostly the awareness of the opportunity. And they bring a drive, which I think really only immigrants can have, and this is true in the US as well. I mean, most of the companies in Silicon Valley, the tech companies, the technologists themselves are in fact immigrants from Asia, of course, all over, India, Japan, Korea, of course the various China entities, and from Europe as well. And it is the energy of immigrants that brings change. They bring diversity, they bring new ideas, new cultural attitudes, and I think they start off with feeling that they have very little to lose by being experimental and taking chances. So for them, the perception of risk is really the key point. They perceive the risk of doing nothing or doing something conventional is much greater risk to them than if they were to be entrepreneurial.
Incubation centers like the one at Cyberport not only seed ideas and kickstart companies, it also supports those who are serious about making it in China.
If you want to sell something in new territory or in Kowloon side, you know every single step that it takes to make it happen, to be successful. But when it comes to Shanghai, it's a different story. So ever since we have set up this Shanghai rep office, we suddenly find out that our ability to organize a successful demand generation event or to line up a successful business relationship has become a lot more easy for us, has become a lot more native to us. So I think that has helped us a lot, and many of our incubation companies has already find soft landing in Shanghai a big advantage for them.
Boot HK spawned something called Startup Monday. Every Monday night, successful entrepreneurs come in to share their experiences. Startups HK helped bring Startup Weekend to Hong Kong, where over the course of just 2.5 days, new enterprises are born. Events like this have burgeoned early-stage startups, some of which have gone on to receive funding, and others have gone even further to become success stories. This is where Aftership's co-founders met, built a prototype in just 48 hours, and won the competition.